A very good afternoon to you all. Thank you for watching UBC Television. My name is Wadulo Mark Arnold, and I'll be giving you the lunchtime news this afternoon, the second day of March 2024. And without further ado, let's get straight into the news. Now, it was a legitimate pay and part of the human resource terms of Parliament. This is the response of Parliament relating to the National Unity Platform Party request that Matthias Mpuga should resign from the Parliamentary Commission. Chris Obore, the Director of Communications at the Parliament, reveals that the service reward has been perceived wrongly with intentions to malice the reputation of Parliament. Now, on Thursday, a letter surfaced through the social media platforms that Matthias Mpuga should step down as the member of the Parliamentary Commission after receiving the 500 million shillings reward for these then services as the leader of opposition. Similarly, Matthias Mpuga has also vowed not to step down, but rather to educate the NUP party members on the operations of Parliament. More details in this report.
I've been at the service of the country, and if anybody felt personally offended, I take this occasion to apologize to whoever felt personally offended by my approach. But I always set out to do the best for the country.
The Member of Parliament for Nyendo Mukungwe, Masaka City, Matthias Mpuga, served as the leader of opposition in the 11th Parliament for 2.5 years and was recently succeeded by Nakawa West MP, Joel Senyonyi. During his handover to Senyonyi, Mpuga shared with the members of Parliament the urge to be patriotic while in service.
We occupy this public space for a purpose. And that purpose must not be for the sake of it, but to change the trajectory of this one country called home. And when we are members of Parliament, then that space is even more distinct because the call for duty is beyond the ordinary. And we must be here and look at each other from both sides of the aisle as servants of the people. And at all times we must invite common good to prevail.
The Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, welcomed MP Mpuga to the Parliamentary Commission, hailing his contributions as the leader of opposition.
You're now my commissioner and my staff. And we don't regret, me and the Deputy Speaker, we don't regret being your friends, and we will continue being your friends. I have told even my party, you don't choose for me who my friends are. I will work with my friends, like Honorable Segona is my dad. I will work with them, and even if we differ politically, but we'll work together for the good of humanity. And you did a good job as law. And this country will forever be indebted to you.
Praising MP Mpuga for the service rendered as the leader of opposition did not end in verbatim, but was extended by a token of appreciation described as a service reward. This move seemed to be strange to the National Unity Platform Party, which Mpuga subscribes to. On Thursday, through a NUP party-headed letter, MP Mpuga was asked to immediately resign from the Parliamentary Commission after admitting that he received 500 million shillings service reward.
I summoned a meeting that involved all my deputy presidents, the party leadership including Secretary General, Deputy Secretary General, and other respectable leaders. In that meeting, my deputy president, the Right Honorable Matthias Mpuga, admitted that indeed he took part in this wrongdoing.
According to NUP party headed by Robert Chagulanyi Sentamu, the gesture tantamounts to corruption and is contrary to the party's ideology.
We advised him to honorably do 3 things. First, return that money because it is dirty money. Number 2, to apologize to the nation. And number 3, to resign.
The Director of Communications in Parliament, Chris Obore, reveals that the service award was a legitimate pay and was in accordance to the human resource terms of Parliament.
There was no bribe paid to Honorable Mpuga. There wasn't a bribe. Honorable Mpuga by virtue of being a member of the commission, as leader of the opposition, was offering a service beyond being a member of parliament or being a member of NUP. Because parliament is a distinct institution. It is an arm of government with its own staff, with its own policies. To reward, for instance, parliament here, we have a long service reward for staff. Any staff who serves consecutively for 20 years is given a reward here. And many organizations has a human resource management instrument, reward their employees.
Obore criticizes the actions of what he describes as an insult to the reputation of Parliament through a disguised exhibition.
Is to be cautious of the deliberate distortions and the smear campaign that might derail the noble cause of the exhibition. It is one thing to hold institutions and individuals to account. It is another to use it as a pretext to malign, ridicule, and insult leaders.
The said service reward originated from a consensus by Parliamentary Commission, which the leader of opposition, Joel Senyonyi, is a member.
And the decisions of the Parliamentary Commission are backed by the Parliamentary Act. That is the law. So calling it a reward only serves propaganda value. But in honest terms, it's a legitimate pay.
If the Parliamentary Commission has the legal mandate to sit and make a decision about thank you, and Matthias Mpuga was thanked via a minute of this commission, I don't see any problem. It would be wrong by the party he comes from to term it a bribe.
In his response through a statement shared on various social media platforms, Matthias Mpuga vows not to step aside as requested by his party, but rather educate NUP leaders on the operations of Parliament. Mpuga calmly expressed his anger, revealing that his own NUP party deliberately intends to character assassinate him. Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, Ubc News.
Officials from the Uganda Wildlife Authority, UWA, have found it difficult to explain the delays highlighted in the Auditor General's report of the year ended June 2023 in implementing the project of investing in forest and protected areas for climate-smart development, where 16.6 billion shillings was not spent. They had appeared before the Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, COSASE, where members told them to produce evidence in form of documents to prove that they have made some procurement and started spending this money.
Officials from Uganda Wildlife Authority UWA, led by the Executive Director, Sam Wanda, have appeared before the Committee on Commissions, Statutory Authorities and State Enterprises, COSASE, to answer queries of delays in implementing a number of projects funded by the World Bank. The Auditor General's report of year ended 30th June 2023 indicates that 2 activities under the Swedish International Development Project were not implemented. However, UWA Executive Director Sam Wanda considered that by that time they hadn't completed the project implementation, although they have now.
That the 2 remaining items that were in that CEDA grant, which are the printing of materials for Katosa Matters Villa and the provision of non-palatable onion seeds, have now been completed.
Don't know how I can brief their statement, their submission, that everything has been done. I don't know whether they have submitted some documents to prove that, i.e. the contract documents.
When project delays,
there is an increment in the funding of the project. Is there any other money that was incurred?
COSASA chairperson Medad Rubega Segona said WA's format of financial accounts in their statement is in the format of World Bank and not one provided for by government. On the project of investing in forests and protected areas for climate smart development, where the Auditor General raised issues of delays and underutilization of funds to a tune of 16.6 billion shillings, Mr. Munda told the committee that this was caused by having limited procurement officers, coupled by issues of World Bank approvals.
The number of procurement officers we've had before in WUA are 3. They were responsible for providing the procurement services to both headquarters and the 7 conservation areas.
That it takes you ages to procure a procurement officer. 3, that when you are signing this agreement, you knew the components, and that for you to implement the project, you would need a procurement officer.
Legislator Martin Muzale said several institutions have challenges of human resource, while Elijah Cooper said 3 or 4 officers would have been enough to conduct the exercise.
Understand that whenever there is a project that is coming on board, you can have staff on contract basis.
So, unless you're telling us Mr. Paul here is not up to the task,
Chair, there is a delay on the completion of the reservation booking payments and whatever. Now here, this is another 4th delay. So I want to ask you, why do you think the Auditor General is concerned about these delays?
WA has, however, started making purchases from these unutilized funds and have so far spent 8.3 billion shillings on road equipment.
3 graders, 2 excavators, 2 bulldozers, and we are waiting for delivery soon of tippers and water bowsers.
Also heard where some agencies say it has been done, and when you go to scrutinize the documents, for example, here you find like a grader has been procured at 3 billion.
Since the queries of the delays were highlighted in more than 2 projects in the Auditor General's report, Mr. Segona said these need to concede. I'm Nafka Farida and Dan Lugemwa at Parliament.
Now, at least 308 Karamojong Street children who were picked by Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, and taken to Masulita Children's Village have been reintegrated in boarding schools in Napak District, Karamoja. According to Napak District RDC, more support from well-wishers is required to prevent these children from going back to the streets. More details in this report.
Kampala Capital City Authority, KCCA, together with other partners, have been on a drive to reintegrate street children back to their families. These children mainly included those from Karamoja who found their way to the streets due to poverty, famine, insecurity and long distances to schools. Last year, Napak District Council passed a resolution to have all children got from streets to boarding schools or be reintegrated into their homes.
In the history of writings, not all the number of children who have been rescued find themselves back to the streets. That is how we came up with a program which was also supported by the district.
The reason said that when these children are abroad, they should be taken straight to school. And they should stay in school without holidays.
This Friday, 308 children aged between 6 to 15 years were put into boarding primary schools in Napak District. The exercise was led by Napak District Local Government, USO, KCCA and Konoria Ministries.
And for us, this is modern slavery. It is exploitation of the highest nature. And we took them to Masuita for rehabilitation. But of course,
the children's village, they have been rehabilitated. And as you look at them, you rarely see any malnourished one among them. You rarely see anyone who is physically handicapped, because others even had to go through operations in Kosovo to bring them through the situation that they are in now.
That is Rotome and Lokolokodoi Primary School. We're going to put 200 girls in Rotome Primary School and 108 in Lokolokodoi. Mixed boys, 76 and 32 girls.
Napak District Education Officer Joyce Nakoyo noted that schools are ready to transform these children.
They have used for integrating these children without stigma is what she's organizing even now to ensure these children are integrated without pulling out stigma.
Napak district leaders welcomed the idea and asked partners to support with welfare where need be.
Some partners, but after some time, I think there was some bit of reluctance. They were not followed down. These are the children who even sponsored. They left scholarships and went back to the street. That's why I'm requesting for your continued support and maybe supervision as well.
Monitor them for the period of 3 years. We see. Let us see how we can give them any necessary support.
C&D, in conjunction with the Uganda Change Agent, have procured 200 mattresses, 3x6 mattresses, and these are to support our children in the boarding section, or because all of them are going to boarding, plus 100 soft mattresses.
Accordingly, the UN World Food Programme committed to support these schools with food, while other partners pledged other support.
We're giving just breakfast and lunch. But for this particular lot, the children that have been brought in, since they are not going to have their parents contribute the supper, so the WP is putting in the supper, and also the weekend feeding, and then also any public holiday.
Napak RDC advised partners on direct support to the schools.
For any NGO which is bringing a social worker, it should not be direct intervention to schools. Kindly reach out to the probation office, to the DEO, and then to the head teachers before you go into the schools.
Dennis Okori is the head of programs at USO Children's Home.
Let us come and ensure the government policy of a school per parish is in place. Sometimes we are blaming these children for going to the street. Somebody cannot walk 5 kilometers every day in the search of education. They give up.
Among the 308, 232 are girls and 78 are boys. The children were taken to Lotome Girls in Lotome Sub-County and Lokolodio Primary in Ngoriet Sub-County. I'm Nafka Farida and Moriniga.
Fred!
Osmosis.
Freddy! Fred Dollar! My boss, CEO Inojo, the general of generals, the conqueror of conquerors, the first and the final, the sky above the skies, the promised land, the terms and the conditions, the international king crocodile, the source of the
Osmosis.
Nile.
I don't have money today.
Just take a polite loan of 200k to stock on my shop. The signs and symptoms of success. The bank commander, not the bank teller.
Why hassle for a loan when you've got MTN Momo? We're sorting it. Use the Momo app or dial *165*5# for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
As Uganda and as UBTS, we are hosting a high-level scientific blood transplant congress from the 4th to the 7th of March at Peak Resort, Munyonyo. I call upon everybody to come and attend this important congress where we shall share knowledge, expertise, and new innovations in the field of blood.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC Lunchtime News, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, in the world of business, internal auditors across departments have received a call to action, emphasizing the importance of continuous research and knowledge expansion to tackle the issues stemming from unreliable statistics, as highlighted by Professor Moses Muhwezi, the Dean of Makerere Business School. Professor Muhwezi delivered this message during the recent graduation ceremony of the Institute of Internal Auditors, where 32 students successfully completed their auditing studies.
The culmination of the Institute of Internal Auditors graduation ceremony has seen 32 candidates emerge and qualify in the field of auditing.
I want to call upon you to continue with the capacity development and keep yourself very knowledgeable. The public sector or the private sector, we need people with appropriate knowledge, skills, behaviors, and competencies. We need people of that caliber. The qualifications you got today, most likely these are technical skills. And technical skills don't push you far.
He stressed that these efforts could equip them with the tools needed to navigate the challenges inherent in their profession.
I want to call upon you, ladies and gentlemen, to always seek for knowledge. Always seek, because auditing requires knowledge. I've done it, I know. Sectoral knowledge is very, very important. Science, mathematics, just simple mathematics. Mental work. These days, you know, when they say, what is 100 plus 10? You look for your phone to put on the calculator. What is 2 plus 3? You can even look for your calculator. Because we have prepared our minds with ICT. Be careful with ICT, it will cripple you. Can you avoid it and use mental work? Then your brain keeps alert.
Muhwezi advised them to uphold ethical standards to safeguard the interests of the entities they serve. Adding to the discourse, Professor Moses Kasacha, head of the Institute of Internal Auditors, urged the graduates to diligently identify and address operational challenges within their respective organizations, fostering a culture of problem solving and innovation.
We have many other internal auditors who have qualified and they are practicing, but it's also important that they qualify as certified internal auditors. At the Institute, I told you, we already have over 1,000, but we want even many more, and also to train to become professional, just like the professor has been guiding us on why become a professional.
The ceremony reflected a sense of purpose and determination, underlining the collective commitment to enhancing the field of internal auditing. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
And more from our business sphere. The country's manager of Harvest Plus Uganda, Sylvia Majezi, has called upon Ugandan farmers to adopt the growing of biofortified crops for the alleviation of vitamin A deficiency and anemia in vulnerable populations in Uganda, especially women and children. Majezi was addressing a stakeholders meeting on expanding nutrients in food systems, ENFS, held in the Pastoral Center Hall of Kasana, Luwero Diocese, in Kasana Town, Luwero District.
ENFS project is about expanding nutrients in the food system. So we want to promote biofortified crops that are rich in micronutrients and have them go down all the way to the young farmers in the community. We want all value chain actors to be part of it so that they can process food from the biofortified crops, and then those nutrients will go down to the farmers and to the consumers that need them.
You have to have enough fluid in your body so that the breast can easily come. You have to consume enough of the vegetables. You have to consume mukene. When I'm giving health education to antenatal mothers and you talk about mukene, they will all say, nah, but trust me, it is also a nutrient that we discovered that is efficient, that it's very good. It's a nourishment, to give nourishment to a mother for breast milk to come. Now, during times of breastfeeding, there are forms of how a mother can also induce breast milk. Taking warm water in the evening, it can also induce that. Massaging the breast with warm water, so that the lobules where the milk is, they can relax.
All Ugandans have children or consumers that need the micronutrients, and they are the pathways we want to go through to reach the children and the consumers. So we want them all to embrace the project, starting with the farmers, to the processors, to consumers, to retailers, so that they tell everyone coming to buy that these foods are enriched with micronutrients and they will be a positive.
Ebiseera by'okuzaayo abaana mu masomero tebiteekwa kukaluubiriza n'akatono. Eno kusimba nnyiriri mpanvu kano kalipagano ka bidduka. Simanya kuzunga na banka siripsi. Kati osobola okusasula school fees z'omwana wo ate n'okola n'ebirala ntoko ku ssimu ye ey'omu ngalo. Ekikola kyangu nnyo. Nyiga bunyizi *165*8 ogoberera ebikulagiriddwa oba okozese app ya MTN Momo. Ate kati okola ki olwaleero? MTN Mobile Money Uganda Limited erungamizibwa banka enkulu eya Uganda.
Welcome back, and now we take you into the world of sports. The visiting Federation of International Gymnastics President Morinari Watanabe has lauded Uganda for its intense plan to improve the sport by spreading it across the country, especially to the youth. Details in this report.
Uganda has completed the successful hosting of the Federation of International Gymnastics Executive Board meeting. It climaxed with an exhibition at the MTN Arena Lugogo. The occasion was graced by the Federation of International Gymnastics President Morinari Watanabe, who pledged support towards Uganda. During their stay in Uganda, the delegation of global gymnastics leaders deliberated with high-ranking sports administrators and visited several centers that Uganda intends to utilize as it grows the sport.
We've taken them to nearby schools and nearby clubs that are doing gymnastics. And then finally we climaxed with this festival. But believe me, they're not the same. They've been able to see the passion that Uganda has for gymnastics. They've been able to see the talent and above all the courage among the children. So moving forward, I have very good feedback for them, very good words of encouragement, and then I know that I have all their support. So the future of Uganda is bright in regards to the gymnastics sports.
In the interim, the association is also determined to meet the new sports law requirement of 50% coverage of the country, which they intend to achieve through collaborations.
They have pledged a lot of support, not only equipment-wise, but also pledged support in terms of the technical help, exchange programs that can help us grow even better and faster.
The delegates visited clubs like Mustafa Gymnastics Academy, Katakan Emil Sada, and also went to schools like Green Hill Academy.
And that brings us to the end of the lunchtime edition of the UBC News. My name is Wadulo Arnold. Stay tuned for more programming coming your way as we inspire, educate, and entertain Uganda.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you the Tuko Pamoja Ate Care segment. How did they become Karamojo?
UBC, inspiring Uganda.